Today's topic will mean, what does it mean when a starseed is turned on or switched on? What does that actually do to you or for you? So I'm trying to break it down as short and as simple as humanly possible. So when a starseed is switched on as an incarnate from another planet, an off-worlder, and you have memories of other lifetimes. And again, for those who don't believe or can't feel or can't access that data, I suggest read Dolores Cannon, Convoluted Universe. She did, hypnotherapy, regressive, like bringing you back into the levels of your subconscious and even lower. And thousands of clients have the same storyline, that they're not from this planet, that they volunteered, they came to Earth, they came to help. So you have first waivers, second waivers, third waivers. All of this is well known in the Starseed community. We had roughly 700 million people that have awoken to the fact that they know they're not from this planet, and they're in a human vessel. They either crawl-ins, born-ins, or walk-ins, which you can also Google. Now, what I'm trying to break down to you is, what does that mean if a starseed is now being activated into protocol? That means your certain spiritual parameters have reached a DNA protocol. And also, mind you, when people say DNA activation feels a certain way, well, DNA activation is not just sitting there and it's a nice buzz and nobody can experience what you're going through. When your DNA is activated, there's lots that can be experienced. Animals coming to you, cats, dogs, kids, everything, the entire environment begins to respond to you. I call it the Buddha effect, or the wholeness or holy effect, or Christ consciousness as in crystalline alignment. Don't base it on one being. There are many beings on this planet that have the capacity, that walk the earth. Not everybody has a storyline. Some have a storyline, some had a storyline, some will have a storyline for what they do and the impact they will have on this planet. But look at what they produce. So I've met a guy that has almost the same name as I, Ra, and his name is Rami, and I wanted to bring that also forth with his allowance, that the things, he's not an architect, and he has built an architectural masterpiece out of shipping containers that the world has yet to see and fathom. And he explained to me that he sees ship interiors, he sees decks, he has a landing platform on top of the thing with 4 poles, 4 pads. It's like a landing pad. He gets these landing pads. I'm receiving that too. Mine look a little bit different. He has a construction that is consistent out of steel and glass. Architects looked at this stuff and said that's impossible. That cannot be constructed from the mind. The dude just, walked to the ground, used a spray can, used instinct, used his download, and goes, shows the layout, cut here, gets welders together. People that help him to manufacture that stuff. They hooked up a phenomenal piece that looks like a temple with a landing pad and an energy device inside, which is, to me, like it's a replica of the vision that he had from the upper dimensions, bringing it down. And that's what these activated starseeds actively do right now, that we channel our own geometry, we channel our own, you could say, word wizardry, star-coded language, symbols and signs that do stuff. We also align to certain planetary systems. Mine is Arcturus. I'm aligned to Arcturus. I'm committed. I'm beyond convinced from what's going on. Some of us wake up in dream state, wake up on ships, have already communication with crew members and ship members. The more you remember your connections in that space, which is a safety measure for you to not freak out the body or spook you, we will reach physical levels where that will happen. But I've seen layouts and schematics that even young ones have shown me We are master builders. If you want to take a reference of what's being channeled, watch that Lego movie. Understand what a master builder is, then get into the storyline, what's a Freemason. That comes actually from the original storyline of a master builder. Master builder means you have the ability to go into a workshop to look at objects, and then certain objects are highlighted, and that shows you A, B, C, D, and it shows you what to put together. So meaning, like, I have the ability, I can look at producers and production of companies that do not know each other, and then I know what to assemble. Like I have like an overlay or a map where I can see, and I see the configuration. That also, yes, requires study. You cannot, if your brain is untrained, your DNA activation is next to useless. Meaning, if, let's say if you have a DNA activation for riding a skateboard or a surfboard on a wave, without physical training in that department, what has been activated, you're actually not able to do anything. So that's when you read holy books. The Holy One said, you will see them by the fruits of their labor. So we will see where each and every one of us will go or end up in saying what they say. Everybody gets a download, yes, agreed. Everybody has the same chance, agreed. But not everybody chooses out of their heart. And I'm clear from my heart in what I do and from the passion of what I create to reach the people to get to these states that this can be activated. We also have systems that can enhance your brain waves. So if people say that they can go into delta brainwave states when they meditate, we can really measure, is your esoteric wisdom a mentalized concept and a regurgitated procedure from the past, and you're actually still in a wakeful state or almost stressful state, imagining that you're meditative, or are you really meditating? So even if somebody says your pineal gland can be activated, what does that mean, activation of pineal gland? That's a topic that has yet to be studied and really brought forth. What does that mean, pineal gland? What does a pineal gland look like? Check David Wilcock, he explains that in depth. I don't want to go too deep into this, but we have measures that can really show electromagnetically with the EEG, MRI, it's finding out where is your body electromagnetically, what you're really doing. There are physical facts. There are doctors and scientists out there that can actually show the codons of your DNA, if the arrangement of the RNA has changed, if your energy to your body comes back, if your hydrogen system pumps sufficient. Also, if you do a smart diet, which is what I'm doing. See, I'm 45, and it's like a slim switch that kicks in when the body remembers exactly what the height is. It has its own barometer to measure out where you need to be. And I can eat chocolate cake, not all day, every day. I can eat a cheeseburger or eat just green. Is if you have a healthy mind state, nothing actually can penetrate you, affect you, or come in a bad way across that will distort actually the level of what you're in. Then also know the Starseeds have to practice that their mind is free from distortion, meaning a healthy body, a healthy mind state, really getting clear of where they are. Some of us can look at crop circles and color them and know what the color meaning does. Like I can draw geometries that I don't even know what the geometry actually means. It's just a resonant feeling with what information is being transmitted, and that has to do with you being active, sitting there, closing your eyes. You can do one test, 6 o'clock in the morning, wake up for a minute. If you're not already naturally doing that, wake up 3 o'clock a.m., close your eyes and try to consciously see what's coming in, see the images. Also get into brain machines. These machines can help enhance your visual program set, your creative aspect. I have one which is phenomenal. You put the glasses on and then this flickering begins and phase shifts your brain with binaural beats and colors, and I see possible moments of time of creation, and when I come out of it, I can create basically anything I put my focus to, anything I wish to create, anything I wish to bring forth. And that helps activated starseeds to really get in gear and start building. During the video I'll try to show you a few examples of what does that look like when a starseed really actively puts pieces together, starts building. That's why When you look at the movie Lego, it explains how these Lego dimensions have certain worlds, and there used to be people that can build anything out of anything. And they fear that the day will come when all of these blocks will be glued by super glue. They call it the crackle, which is the doomsday for any Lego practitioner, because you want to have flexible parts and take parts apart and put together and reassemble. And this is what this is actually is about. To be fully active, to be a master builder. It doesn't matter what age you are. You're all getting the download. Now it's not about me, let's say, traveling to a distant place and explaining you some adventures that I experience and you can relate to. Now it's about a universal platform where everybody can relate to each other, where you can say, well, with a friend of mine, I went to find a contact place, and he had a vision where to go. So we took a Jeep, we drove to a designated area that he felt, and he said, that's not the area, there's water around. So I did the crazy thing and I started smelling in the air. I said, okay, it's not raining, but it smells moist, so that means we must be near water or something that runs water. So we drove a bit further, way up into the mountains, and then we found the place, which is a very, very, how you say, energetic, and it forces you almost into a meditative state. And you have to process a lot going to that place. It's not like you walk up there and then you walk back down and it's just a simple hike. You're processing. So when we get Starseeds, or sometimes when people book me privately, we can go to these places and then we can share the experience to synchronize and align the experience. Like you do that, let's say anybody has an Apple and you want to sync your iPad with your iPod, or your iPhone with your pad or your computer. You hit the sync button, and then the same data that you have downloaded from this device goes to the bigger device. That's how we do videos, that's how we connect. That's why I sometimes put on a Star Trek uniform. It's not to act out something silly. First off, it's to honor Gene Roddenberry. Second is most of the stuff is channeled. If you go back in 1967 when the pilot was shot, he talks about Talons, he talks about Arcturians. I mean, he wrote all these scripts 50s and 60s, and if you think that's all just by coincidence put together, that all the races now exist, Andromedans, Vegans, the Mantidians, all mentioned in the 60s, then people don't know what coincidence means and how correlations and things that take place in a certain pattern are actual fact, have actual meaning, come into our lives. And I wish for the Starseeds that are still seeking to find that, to practice that. I will do more videos on that in the G teachings of how do you find your way in really actively getting into patterns that help you to activate yourself. And there's a lot of creative stuff out there. I'll try my best to show images, maybe behind me, I'm not sure yet. What I will do, you'll see that during the process as I speak, examples of people that have artwork that I think is phenomenal, that I will show. And I will do more on basically Starseed artifacts. People build gigantic metal structures with crystals in and water runnings, and you put your arm close to it and you get goosebumps and your hair stands up because electromagnetically something is done. Another guy in Russia who I think or I feel doesn't really actively know that he's a Starseed has set up a construct on grass, geometry and steel poles put together, and if you put neon light bulbs next to the thing, they all light up. So amazing stuff is being done, amazing technology is being brought forth. You know, if you want to get a patent, try to explain to the patent industry something that they can follow, because most people in the patent industry are not really equipped for people that have downloads, but they equipped for if you have something that has a physical resonance, meaning like look at this, and then they hold it and say, oh, I can see. So it has an impact that is perceivable for everybody. Then you have something that actually is valid. You know, you can sell it as art, you can sell it as industrial stuff. We're here to basically look at the positive things in life. We've been through a lot. mission is to get the planet back online. Not claiming that I'm the only one, is, you know, show and prove, show me. Not just climbing a rock or bringing a rock or talking about, yo, I got these crazy downloads and you don't even know, and dimensions, this and that. That can all be confusing because, sorry, all day and every day I can explain to you about multiple selves and timelines and splitting myself into images of, you know, nothingness and illusion. Or I can come back and say, well, this is the core, your heart, your root, your mind, one line up, one higher self, as in highest self. There's no light and dark. We gotta leave the concept of duality, thinking that you need this, and this is the baddest, and this is the bestest, and you combine this, or the bestest is this, and the baddest is this. This is all confusing for the mind. We want the mind to be, the new cosmic linear is multidimensional and holding the line to your highest self. That's your highest aspect. And that being is your angelic version before source that actually tells you where to go and what goes and what does not go. And when you stop running around so much and activating so much, and you sit down and you meditate, that's when the Sasani and the Zeta say you're actually listening to God. When you pray, you're talking to God. When you meditate, you're listening. We have to learn how to listen. Also, that means activation means you cannot be around everybody. People have different agendas, different tasks, different levels of consciousness activation. So that can be irritating, or that can lower your dimensions, or people can give negative suggestions to you as your light begins to shine, as you begin to glow. That's no discrimination, no offense. Find a retreat, find a place where you can recalibrate, come back to your senses and activate that within you, and listen to what's really, really propagated from the source. And if you have clear contact and clear connection to what's being propagated, then you can translate a very clear message that has to do with inventions, psychological issues. I did a video on nanobacteria, what that means, how that influences you. I will do also another video on that you carry probiotic colonies with you, and if somebody, let's say, who's more infested, it's going to be a fight. When they say angels and demons in the field fight, well, it's actually the bacteria that surrounds us, the airborne that comes out. Is it a proactive probiotic that actually is the assisting bacteria that you need, or is it a parasitic? So the balance of good and evil in us is how much of parasitic bacteria do you have, and how much of probiotic, or I call it social probiotics, which is a new term I heard from something that is phenomenal, that another scientist has found out, that I'm using water bottles. How you harvest bacteria when you close your windows, you close your light, you know, sunlight, you watch TV every day, you eat the same food every day. So it means you're actually a harbinger. You're hoarding bacteria. That makes you even sicker. And the sickness we don't understand, because the sickness translates into thought patterns that lower the dimension and create a reality that's actually not wanted. So I will do a specific video on that. All of this is about being active, being activated, actively knowing what you're doing, what are you channeling. I've seen phenomenal stuff. I don't know if I can show all of it in this video. I'll try my best to show you like a lot of stuff. Mandalas, people that created interesting things. I have a thing that I want to actually put into stickers, which is a radionic symbol, where I take the flower of life into certain sequences that have lines that run in and out of the layers of the flower of life. And if you put your hands on the stickers, after 3 minutes, the light wave or the electromagnetic resonance in your meridians actually balances out. That can be measured with very expensive machines where they shoot light impulses through your fingertips, and then if you see a curve of where you are. Most people that get tested are in a very stressful level, and we have tested that. Once I have the machine, I can show and prove. I don't have that machine. That's like, I don't know, $40,000 machine, and the Russians have invented that. But at an exhibit in Berlin, Germany, I've witnessed you put your hands on the two symbols that I have, which will be soon stickers that I will sell, that you put your hands onto it and place them and after 3 to 5 minutes, this system balances itself out, and it's a very subtle energy. But people that are sensitive will feel it. Kids have no problem. Like 5-year-olds, they're like, it's tingling in my hand. My nephew feels it. He thinks it's strange. I let him hold my key and other things that I've created, and he's like, that feels like a battery. What is this? And it has nothing to do with battery. It has to do with cell resonance and the cells reacting to light. And you can't scam this, or it's like saying you turn on a light bulb, you switch it on, and you would see no light. That would be the untruth. Truth is actually finding applications to what we channel in, scribble plans, and write down what we do. There's another guy named Stan Romanek. If you watch his movie, very interesting. The dude channels time travel sequences of quantum physics, and his IQ is like, I don't know, 110 or something, or 130. But in trance, he writes scripts where physicists go, this is really a very complicated math that you need 30 years of studies even to channel that. The guy plots it out, readable algebra and stuff that is mind-baffling. So it's coming in. We have the evidence. I don't need to be converted or convinced, and I'm not trying to convince or convert anybody. It's like, use this application now to find devices. There's also another guy who could beat nuclear radiation by putting the opposite parameter of radiation, applying that, puts it in a chamber, and the radiation of the uranium in the chamber drops, the sequence drops, more and more will be released. I will launch a new company working with green technologies. We already backed federal, governmental, protected by green environment companies. So we have basically a state and country approved database that will show what my devices do. I have partners that didn't need convincing, that get the same stuff, so it's almost telepathic. We're coming together. I'm calling Starseeds, and the more far-fetched the storyline is that you find, go out there, find it, investigate. There's a lady that has created a glass orb with a plasmic water system that she put that in your house. Everything is blooms and blossoms, the soil, everything recovers, the water, everything restructures. So these things I will invest in, I will test also, I will put on video. So bring more the physical facts in, and showing you that it's not all theory, and we don't want to sit here for 10 years and talking about theoretical I don't know, 8th dimensional warriors that nobody can see, nobody can perceive. That also has to do with your 22 dimensional arcana. I will do a video on that as well. Meaning if you're still trapped in your, you can say, body dimensional archetypes, that you're still dealing with lies and illusions, and we want to go beyond that. That's why my key has 22 rings. We want to actually bridge and align the 22 archetypes that you have. And there are tricksters in you, there are liars in you. This has all to do with how you're being raised, what you looked at, how you've been programmed. We want to denoodle the program construct and make you clear, and have you actually engaging in life, putting together what you see and what you feel very clear. And that's free, and that will always be free. Information has to be free. It's like help to self-help. So you get out of your trained helplessness and get into business. Start going to work, get in shape, look good. I said when I will be 60, I will still be looking like this. Maybe a few gray hairs, whatever, who knows. So far, I'm trying to stay chiseled for you. And thank you for watching. And like they said, they told us leave. And I say, nah, I'ma stay. All right, on that note, see you on the flip side. Peace.